Okay, hi y'all. So country. It's been a minute, girl. Yes, girl, we've been going through it. These solar flares, these new moons, this energy. Girl, I've been a vegetable, and I'm still kind of in that mode. So it's kind of hard for me to do this video. Not hard, but like, hear that? That's 4 days straight of no sleep, no proper sleep. So forgive me if I'm stuttering or if I'm redundant. But anyways, yeah. So it's been a minute. Hello, my little acolytes. Yes, my little acolytes, my little imaginators, my starlights, my little magicians, witches and warlocks, witches and wizards, and all that. Sorcerers, princesses. We are back with another video. In this video, we're talking about, as you can see by the thumbnail, making magic again. And it is like the movies. It can be like the movies, y'all. Come on. Like, it really does hurt me. And look, I have been watching these people talk about magic for a really long time, and they're not wrong. And I remember seeing a video, and I'm pretty sure this goes to a lot of people too, where like people will try to figure out, okay, but like, muggles, normies, mortals. They would try to ask. They would try to figure out, okay, but like, how is magic? And I would see videos. I spent so much time trying to figure out magic, but I don't really understand how it works. And I feel like because of there's so much information out there, and because people who talk about magic talk about it from a logical standpoint, from a scientific standpoint. And that's the problem. And I would hear people say, I looked through so many grimoires and so many texts, and they would say, like, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, it has to be very specific. And that's not the case. Magic can be as simple as thinking about contacting a demon, and boom, you contacted a demon. The fundamental principle of magic is impossibility. Magic is the feminine principle, the evil principle, the dark energy. Magic is dark, and not necessarily dark as in like you're dealing with dark forces. It can be, but magic is the unseen, the unknown, the mystery, right? And like I said, the core of magic is impossibility. Magic is imagination, y'all. Imagine it. Magic runs throughout imagination. Imagination is source, right? And are you telling me that source is sitting up here? Oh, let me create these complex rituals, these complex things. Magic. If magic is source, why would it be limited? And I know we're not at source level, like right out the gate. That's not the point where I'm saying that. I'm saying magic can be anything you want it to be. It can be anything you want it to be. If you want it to be like the movies, it can. If you don't, it doesn't have to be. Magic doesn't have to fit into a certain mold. Magic is like water. Magic is water. It's fluid, right? And I feel like because people see magic in such a scientific way, and because they try to make everything so logical, a lot of these people who are into magic are very logical. I've noticed this. They're still left brain dominant. Because you can still get into magic without being right brain dominant. You can. But when teaching magic, you will hear people say, magic can't do this. You can't do that. That's impossible. Magic has limits. You can't do what they do in Harry Potter. You can't make a book levitate or teleport or fly or cause storms with magic. Hello, bitch. Yes, the fuck you can. That's the whole purpose of magic. The whole premise of magic is the opposite premise of science. The principle of magic is the complete total opposite of the principle of science, right? And once you say magic can't do something, you're talking about science. Because science is limited. That's the reason why it's slow. And it's not saying science is bad or it won't ever be advanced. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Science is the masculine principle. And when it comes to the masculine principle or the light principle, things tend to be more slower more, it tends to be more slower because you're completely ignoring the feminine principle. And the feminine principle is magic. And real quick, this is Soulstar post editing. Is it post editing? Yeah, it will be pre-editing. Post editing. Hello, my acolytes. What I was saying real quick, because I think for me that would be kind of confusing how I said it. No, the masculine principle isn't slower because however I said it, it's not slow because of that. The masculine principle is slower because you need something to construct. And keep in mind, slower does not mean bad. The masculine principle is not bad. We need both principles. Okay. Now that that's out the way, yeah, it's slower because it needs something to structure. Without the chaos, the feminine principle, there's no point of the masculine principle. That's why the masculine principle is shaped like a phallus, because something needs to come out of it. It needs to be structured. It needs to be put in a certain way. That way you can use it more effectively on a physical plane. That's why the science is the masculine principle, because the masculine principle, at least especially on the most physical level, okay, on the highest level, it needs something to construct, which is light, right? But on the most physical level, that light is constructed into quote unquote organic matter, such as the physical body or objects like rocks, cubes, eyeballs, booty cheeks, blades of grass, etc., right? So, I look forgot what I was gonna say. Y'all, this happens all the time. So that's why it takes me a minute. Yeah, so we're just gonna sit here. Yeah, deal with it. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think that was it though. Because it needs something to construct. That's why science will always be limited, because you're supposed to meld the science and the magic. You're supposed to meld the phallus and the vagina. Just like in DC, how Dr. Fate is the Lord of Order, right? And how Lords of Order needs something physical. They use more physical magic. They imbue physical objects with magic, right? The physical is the masculine. Magic is the feminine. Even on that level, even the Lords of Order understand you need chaos, because if they didn't, they would completely and totally try to oppress and destroy the chaos, which is the feminine principle, and that is not the goal. The goal, like I said in my last video, on the most basic level, on the basic level, sex represents magic and science melding together. That's what magic science is. Magic science isn't advanced science that is like magic. It's melding magic and science. Magic science. How more basic and direct can it be? Just saying. But yeah, that's what I was saying. Love you, my little acolytes. Bye, bitches. Oh, also real quick, like I said, I might have said objective when referring to the feminine principle by accident. I meant the feminine principle is subjective. So if you hear me say the feminine principle is objective, my bad. Like I told y'all, I had 4 days no sleep, rough sleep, okay, when I did sleep. So if I refer to the feminine principle as objective, I meant subjective. And also, P.S., I coined a new term, and it's my term. I'm stating it right here, right now. I don't give a fuck who takes it, but I'm stating it right here, right now on document that subjective logic is a thing, and I'm coining subjective logic. So yeah, eat it. Read it and weep, bitches. For you to even truly comprehend magic, you really do have to get out of that left brain thinking, because once you say magic can't do something, you're not accessing your right brain. You're just not. And I'm not talking about when you do your little rituals or spells, you're not accessing your right brain. But let's be honest here, a lot of people who do magic, they struggle with it, don't they? Especially when they start out. Especially when they're like been doing it for years. And I've seen so many people say, I've been doing magic for years and I'm still having a hard time understanding it or doing it. And it's because you're trying to understand it through a logical lens. And you can't do that. Now that is impossible. You can't understand magic through a logical lens because magic isn't meant to be logical. It's the chaos. Magic is chaotic. By nature, it is chaos. And when understanding chaos, you have to understand that chaos can do what the fuck it wants to do. And you have to have imagination. And I realize the reason why people say that magic can't do this is because they're not tapped into their inner child. When you are tapped into your inner child, like through and through, there is no such thing as can't. There's only Well, in this moment, I haven't done it yet. I haven't got there yet. When you say magic can't levitate something across the room, it's not that it can, it's that you haven't got there yet. You aren't strong enough to get there yet. You're not, sorry, let me phrase that. You aren't strong enough to levitate a book with your spells, with your magic. That's all it is, and that's what people need to start saying. You haven't done it yet. It's not that magic can't do it. It's that you haven't done it yet. You haven't built up your energy centers, your magic circuits, whatever you want to call them, your chi, enough to do it. Take magic out of the equation for a moment. Look up videos of people doing psychokinesis, aerokinesis, telekinesis, telepathy, honing their clair abilities, their claircognizance or clairsentience, audience, whatever. Look up videos of people channeling their chi to move things. Look up videos of people channeling their chi to heal, right? If they can do that with just basic chi, right? Or energy manipulation, why the fuck can't you use magic to fly? I mean that for real, y'all. If you can use telekinesis to knock things over, your chi energy to heal, why can't you use magic to fly or to cause change in life? What I've noticed, and I am not digging at anyone, because depending on the situation, I might still use this too, right? Magic doesn't come from your tools. And I think that's another aspect of it. That's the problem, is that when people talk about doing magic and doing spells, right? They talk about getting a piece of paper and writing on a piece of paper. That's magic. That is. But that's when you're a beginner and when you're starting out. People like Merlin, Circe, Hecate, Thoth, or Tuti, if you want to call them Tuti, Heka, Egyptians of old, of antiquity, I promise you, they're not telling you. I promise you, they didn't teach the people back in the day to use magic with just paper and pencil. They didn't even have paper and pencil back in the day. So how did they do magic? No, I need y'all to think about this. For real. Back in the day of ancient antiquity, they didn't have pencil or paper. So you telling me with every single spell they've done, they've used clay and stick to cast their spells? Fast forward now. Most people who do magic, you telling me the big guns, I mean the elites who do magic, are they using pencil and paper to cast a spell? Think about it. If we want to call Beyonce a witch, Taylor Swift a witch, if we want to talk about the 13 families, their magic that they use, I guarantee you for a fact, they're not sitting here using a pencil and paper and manifesting shit. And that's where people are lost. Magic isn't about pencil or paper. Not saying that's bad. We all gotta start somewhere, but y'all gotta grow up. And I'm not trying to be mean or rude, because this is something that I had to understand too. Because when I was going my magical journey, it was something wasn't clicking with me in magic. I'm like, okay, every spell I gotta get a pencil and paper. Or every spell I gotta write something down. That doesn't make any logical sense. Which is crazy, right? Because we're talking about magic. Excuse me. And if we go into being starseeds and having passed on other planets, you telling me because usually people that are drawn to magic are people who came from other planets, who are really drawn, who came from planets that were more magical, right? And you telling me on those planets, where other beings live, higher density beings, you're telling me that they're using magic with just pencil and paper? That's not Earth magic. That's not even Earth magic. Earth magic isn't using pencil and paper to cast a spell. It's not. That is baby magic. That is, if you're still using pencil and paper, that's fine. But if you think that casting a spell for everything requires a pencil and paper, then you've lost the point of magic. And that means you're not connected to your inner child. A lot of people use. I didn't know this was a thing, but pop culture magic will be a good step into getting connect to your inner child again. Not saying that you need to use that forever, but it'll be a good start. And no, I'm not saying everybody's the magical child archetype. But if you're using magic, you need to tap into your magical child. And that's just the bottom line. If you don't want to call it the magical child, that's fine. You can call it your inner child. You still need to tap into your child. That's where the magic comes from. Is the child. The child is how you cast your spells, y'all. Even the elites have tapped into them, even though it's warped. Even though it's warped, it doesn't matter. The magical child is non-binary. It's androgynous. It can be whatever you want it to be, right? Such as magic. Because the magical child is neutral. So if you want to tap into the magical child and twist it and warp it and use magic to oppress people, you can do that. You can do that. But if you want to be healthy and cause actual change in your life to where you can fly, then you have to tap into your inner child and make peace with it. And always, and I mean always, connect with it. Always be connected with it. And particularly when you're using your magic, when you're spell casting. I wrote down Twitches. Twitches or Wizards of the Place is a good example of that. One thing I recently watched Twitches again, and I don't know, this past week actually, I have been so drawn to the movie Twitches, and I'm like, why am I drawn to Twitches? Let me go back again. So I started watching it a few days ago, and y'all, I felt good. I felt at ease because, yes, the way they do first of all, no, you do not have to be born from a lineage of powerful spellcasters to do that. You do not. But you can do what they do. You have to apply it to you, though. You have to understand that because of the systems that we grew up in, we grew up saying that magic doesn't exist. We grew up left brain dominant. We grew up telling people, well, art doesn't make money, so stop being creative. Stop. You're not a kid anymore. Stop pretending. Don't stop living in your imagination. Magic isn't real. You can't do magic. There are so many restrictions on the feminine principle, on evil, on chaos. All that is the feminine principle. Magic is a feminine principle, and it houses chaos, evil, darkness, creativity, imagination. That's what the feminine principle is. And we've been told the feminine principle is not accepted. I mean, hell, even now, you're not allowed to have control over your bodies. How crazy is that? Like, if that's not the most in your face, I mean, hell, history even tells you that the feminine principle, anything that's feminine is shunned. And magic is feminine innately, right? And so are emotions, and we've been told those are wrong. The reason why you can't tap into your magic is because you've been told that anything is feminine was wrong, and you restrained it and restricted it and damn near killed it your entire lives. And some of y'all still doing it. That's why it's so hard for you to understand that magic can do what the fuck it wants to do. And one scene from the Twitches that I just will cherish, and I'm cherishing it now, and I've been saying ever since I seen that scene a few days ago, was when they were kids. I think her name, Alex and other girl, the one that has the sun necklace amulet. She was like, when the Twitches sisters finally discovered they had magic and they started doing magic together, one spell that I loved that they did was to make an object disappear, tap it twice, and say, "Oh dear." How fun is that? That is fun. Magic is supposed to be fun, regardless of how you look at it. Innately, magic is fun, even if you use it to harm people. There are some people who use it to harm people, and they find fun in that. I'm not telling you to do that, but I'm saying the point of magic is androgynous. It can be whatever you want it to be. It is the child. It is androgynous. It is the dark. It is the feminine. It is chaos. It is evil. All right, one last time, and I'm done with y'all motherfuckers. Okay, so I know I'm saying magic is a feminine principle, and um, it's androgynous. It's the child. I don't want y'all to get confused because y'all need to understand that magic ultimately is pure imagination. Pure magic is the child. It's pure imagination. The child houses all principles, right? And when I say feminine, yes, the child is feminine. Magic comes from pure imagination. And when it funnels from pure imagination, which is the child, it funnels through femininity, the feminine principle. And then the feminine principle constructs its chaos, it constructs order through the masculine principle. So it starts from the child, the imagination, pure imagination, and then it funnels, then it when it decides it wants to create, it it taps into its feminine nature, its waters, its evil, its creativity, it's darkness, it's chaos. It taps into the feminine principle and it creates shapes. And then once it decides it wants to make those shapes solid and malleable and tangible, not malleable, when it wants to make it tangible, it accesses its masculine principle, the phallus, structure, order, to make it so, to make it physical, to bring all of that into the physical world, you need the masculine principle. That's why I say the masculine principle is the last principle, and it's the slowest principle, because you can only get so far with the masculine principle. I hope that makes sense. I'm sorry if I confuse y'all, but that's how it is. And I have a way of talking where I can see things in my head, but sometimes I forget to like go in detail a little bit and break it down. So forgive me. But yeah, so it funnels, it starts with pure imagination. That's androgynous. That's the child. The child. The number 3. Then when it decides it wants to create something, it funnels it through the feminine principle, through chaos, to where it gives it more meaning. And then to give it shape and to give it structure and to make it solid, it accesses its masculine principle. And that's it. And that's how you do it. From our point of view, from the earth, it looks like it starts with the masculine principle because 1, 2, 3, it does. From our physical vantage point, it does look like it starts from the masculine principle. 1, 2, and 3. See what I'm saying? That's why 1 is masculine, 2 is feminine, and 3 is androgynous. Because 3 embodies all. You see what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense, but don't get too caught up because the masculine principle isn't the first principle. It's just its last principle, but from our vantage point, it's the first. And that is very true and accurate at the same time. Okay? Both ways are true. Subjective truth. Both ways are true and accurate. Pure imagination holds all truths. So yeah, love y'all. Bye. This is the last time y'all gonna hear from me. And how you will that is how you will that. Magic is what it is. If you say magic can't do something, it won't do it. Because the truth, the core of magic is doing the impossible. You can do whatever you want to do, whatever you desire, whatever you deem true. That's what magic is. And because a lot of people said that magic isn't this, it became that for them. It doesn't change the core of magic, the truth of magic. But for them, magic is finite. Magic is limited. Magic is weak. I promise you, a lot of these people online, they haven't even got up. And maybe this also ties to the fact that I'm a chaos magician. But people haven't really sat with themselves and said, you know what? If I say Incendia on a candle and snap my finger, it'll work. You have to build the confidence up to do that. You have to build up your energy. Y'all have to understand, you have to build up your mana for you to even cast a simple spell. And some of us cast spells on a whim, and it worked. My first spell I ever cast was a lottery spell, and it worked the next day. But that was a fluke. Let those little moments let you know that it can work the way you want it to work. But you have to completely dismantle everything you believe about magic. Completely dismantle it and restart from the ground up. Magic, yes, you can fly, you can levitate, create thunderstorms, and do all that. But I think the problem with people is that they think that they can do that right out the gate. You cannot. I repeat, unless you're in a family where magic is talked about, y'all do magic every single day. And y'all are connected to magic. Most people aren't connected to magic. So for the most people, I'm talking to most people, not those select few. Most people, and I'm talking myself included, because I had to learn this. I am part of the most people. For you to do magic, you have to start from the ground up. You cannot just say, oh, I want to fly, so I'm going to cast a spell to fly and just fly. It doesn't work like that. You got to understand that from childhood, you've been told that magic doesn't exist. Magic is stupid, magic is weak, and magic is only, or if you are trying to figure out magic online and you're a beginner, you've been told that magic can only do this. You have restricted the power of magic, so therefore it cannot do what you want it to do. You have to reprogram yourself. I mean reprogram, and it may take years, it may take months, it may take weeks, but you have to reprogram yourself to understand that magic can do whatever you want. And a lot of people don't believe that, and that's why they don't believe that magic can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want with magic, and for you to actually do magic, to get to the point where you can teleport, you have to build up your mana every day or every other day or as often as possible, right? I wrote down a spell in my spell book. It's a air spell, and it's to make stuff. It's whenever you're in a situation where there's a lot of bad smells in the air, you're smelling nothing but bad smells. So an example would be you going into an alleyway and you smell a bunch of shit. You can use this spell so that way you don't smell a bunch of shit anymore. And it's an air spell, and it goes like this. I'm being vulnerable. I never share my spells, but it goes like this, right? Air everywhere, and you can replace. Okay, I'm gonna do it like this first. Air everywhere. I smell cupcakes in the air. You can replace cupcakes with anything, such as air everywhere. I smell a nice roasting bonfire in the air, right? And what it's supposed to do, like I told you, is to allow you to change the air around you, your smells, right? And the spell somewhat worked. I'm still working on it, because I'm still building up my energy, so it's not as strong, but it worked for a split second. I smell sweet vanilla cupcakes. But here's the thing with magic. You can't give up on it. Once you say, oh, well, it didn't work, so I won't do it. Imagine the scientists that said planes couldn't exist, so they tried to make a model plane and it didn't fly, and they said, well, flying, it doesn't exist, it doesn't work. Imagine the scientists, they created light bulbs to have electricity. Imagine that scientist saying, oh, well, I seen a spark, but that was it, so it didn't work. If y'all want to be so logical, let's use logic, okay? If you want to say, oh, well, I want to be the best athlete in the world, I can be the best athlete in the world, and you go for a run, and for 5 minutes, you start coughing and hacking and say, well, I can't do it. Nope, I'm not an athlete, I can't do it, I can never be an athlete. Just imagine you saying you can't do something. Oh my god, it's actually making me angry and sad all at the same time. Because I'm about to cry, y'all. This sucks. This makes me upset because I hate it. I hate hearing people snuff out their light before it even had a chance to shine. Imagine a star. Imagine a sun snuffing out its radiance because, oh, no one's fucking watching. Oh, I'm not giving life to this planet, so what's the point of my existence? Girl, please. These planets aren't giving a fuck about any of that bullshit. LeBron James wouldn't be LeBron James if he said I can't do this, if he said I couldn't, or my body can't, or I'm not good enough. The reason why y'all suck at magic is because y'all suck. Y'all tell yourselves y'all suck. Y'all tell yourselves y'all can't do something. Just because you say you can't do it does not mean it's not possible. Just because you haven't found a way to do it yet, or you haven't done it yet, keyword yet, does not make it impossible. The Wright brothers, and I will always say this, they were scoffed at by people because they wanted to figure out a way to fly. People told them there is no such thing. You can't fly. There is no way to fly. You can't invent planes. How are you supposed to make metal fly? Same with ships. How was a boat supposed to? How was a big 7-ton boat supposed to float on water? If those people allowed other people to affect them in a way where they said, you know what, you're right. Boats can't float. Planes can't fly. Imagine what we would be as a society and as an individual and as a collective. Consciously. Think about that, y'all. Think about it, for real. This is some serious shit. This goes deeper than just saying I can't. This is your reality speaking. Magic can be fantastical like the circus if you want it to be. You have to believe, and this is why we say magic is the principle on belief. Why do you think in the Polar Express excuse me. Why do you think in the Polar Express the adults can't see magic, but the children can? That's not just for show. That's not just for fun. No pun intended. It's literal. Magic is of the objective principle. Magic is inherently objective. Feminine energy, the feminine principle, is inherently objective. The right brain is inherently objective. Right? Why do you think magic is heavily based on symbols, sigils? Because it works with the subconscious, not the conscious. And you do not need a pencil and a paper to do that. I've done a lottery spell with chaos magic, however. I've done a lottery spell. This is me being personal again, because I really don't like talking about the spells that I use, because people like take shit and run with it to the utmost extreme. But to be transparent, I've done a lottery spell again, like 4 days ago. Well, a week ago. And 5 days ago, actually. Sorry, y'all. Time in my head is different. Like 5 days ago. And I used with chaos magic. I wanted to win the lottery, right? The only thing I did was increase my odds of winning the lottery. I didn't use no paper, no pencil. I stood up, I channeled my chaos, and also I called upon the energy of chaos, and I channeled it into a ball. And until I felt the ball, until I actually felt the ball, not just the energy, until the ball was actually frozen in that space, in that moment, I cast it up in the air. The next day, my mom comes in my room and says, I won the lottery. Over $2,000. And I did that off a whim, just to do it, just to see how powerful it would be. Because I usually give a spells that work on probability a few days to operate, just to, you know what I'm saying? But no. And I'm not going to lie. Even before I did that spell, I felt powerful already. I felt like, okay, because this is right before I did my spiritual practices. I felt the energy. I got, okay, let's channel this. And you got to keep in mind, emotion plays a huge role into that as well. No, you don't have to be emotionally charged to do magic. You do not. But because magic is water, it's fluid. But to truly get an essence, to truly feel the essence of magic, emotions have to be involved, and the emotions are heavily tied to the magical child or the child. The child is where your magic comes from. If you're not tapped into your child, then your magic will be limited. You will be limited. You will see magic as a finite, limited thing. It is what it is. You understand? And people have been doing magic wrong this entire time. But yeah, so innately, magic comes from dreams. It comes from the mind. I mean, not the mind, the imagination. Source is pure imagination. Source is dreaming constantly. In dreams, you can do what the fuck you want to do. People don't realize that their dream, they're sleep dreaming. They're the dreaming celestial. How do I put it? They're not conscious in their dreams when it comes to doing magic. For you to actually affect your dream, what do you have to do? Be lucid, right? And understand that you can do whatever you want to do, right? And at the same time, that's why people tell you don't look at mirrors in your dreams, because crazy, you might see something scary. Looking at mirrors in your dreams isn't scary. I've done that so many times, consciously or unconsciously in my dreams, and nothing scary happens. The reason why there's so much fear is because the imagination can do whatever it wants to do, but people don't have control. For you to have control over magic, you have to have an acceptance and understanding of your child. People don't understand their inner child. That's why when they look in the mirrors in dreams, they don't realize you're creating the images you see in your dreams. You're creating the images. So if you are afraid and have fear, you're going to experience that in your dreams when you're lucid. Because that's what you said. The mind, the subconscious, doesn't give a fuck about feelings. I mean, not necessarily, I'm not gonna say like feelings. It doesn't give a fuck about your basic human understanding. It just reacts. So if you are operating out of fear when it comes to magic, your magic will be fear-based. If you're operating out of lack, when it comes to magic, your magic will be lacking. You will lack magic. Your mana will be weak. It is what it is, y'all. That's how magic works. That's the principle on it. You don't sit up here and say, "Oh, well, I'm gravity doesn't exist. So if I drop this book, it's not gonna fall on the ground." No. You understand that if you drop a book on the ground, that it will fall. Because of science. Because of the masculine principle. Because of the physical principle. You see what I'm saying? You don't shun science away for being science. So why are you shunning magic away for being magic? That's ultimately what I'm trying to get at here. Sorry if it kind of sounded confusing. But if you don't say, "Oh, well, if I jump up in the air, I'm not going to fall back to the ground." Science doesn't give a fuck. The masculine principle doesn't give a fuck what you think. What it is. It's what it is. Both principles. It doesn't matter what you think. It's about what it is. And the essence of the magical principle is imagination, is chaos. It's water, it's fluid. If you want to start casting spells like Harry Potter, then you have to first unleash your limits. 1. 2, sit down and actually start going outside of the norm when it comes to magic. And I know, even for me, it was weird. I felt uncomfortable because my whole life I was being taught that you had to write stuff down on a piece of paper. You need this tool, you need this herb, you need this smell good, you need this candle for you to cast a spell. That's called a ritual. That's not magic. That is a system of magic, but that is not magic. Or it could be a ceremony. I need y'all, if y'all were to go overseas, you don't have to do this, but if y'all were to go overseas or somewhere like Louisiana or Africa or somewhere in the East, people who actually do magic will tell you, you don't, a pencil, paper, to what? To conjure up good health? Yeah, you can, but that's so unnecessary. If you were to access our ancient ancestors back in the day, they would tell you the exact same thing I'm telling you. First of all, they didn't even have pencil or paper. So how do you think you did magic? You think they really sat here every day writing on a rock, on a piece of wood, plank, on sand to do every single spell? Magic is inherently symbolic. So if you want to, you can. It's not optional. I mean, let me phrase that. It's not finite. It's not this way and that's it. It's subjective. It's the subjective, not subject. Yeah, it's the subjective nature. Wait. Yeah. Oh my god. Sorry, I had a little blonde moment. Magic is subjective, not objective. So if I said magic was objective in the beginning, forgive me. Because I told y'all, even before coming on here, that like, I have not been asleep. for like 4 days straight. My sleep schedule has been on and off. The sleep that I do get is uncomfortable. So forgive me. Yeah, magic is the subjective. Hold up. Let me look up subjective and objective. Sorry, I'm listening to the Shrek soundtrack. Shrek 2, my favorite movie. Yeah, subjective. Sorry. I'm gonna leave this in. I wasn't cut it out, but it don't matter. Um, it's subjective. Okay. And for it to be the what's hot in here? Hold on. Hope y'all don't hear that fan. But for it to be this subjective energy, so forgive me. So if I said the wrong thing at the beginning, I'll make sure to put like my little correction. But yeah, magic is subjective. So it works with the subconscious mind. For you to even do magic, you have to be in tune with your subconscious to begin with, period, point blank. For you to do real magic anyway. Like I said, do you think they're sitting here writing on clay tablets for the rest of their lives to cast a spell? No, they're not doing that. They never did that. And I don't know when or how or when this whole system has been co-opted to make y'all think that for y'all to do it, you need items. You don't need any tools, nor do you need a pencil or paper. Those will always be optional. It's not saying those are bad. I'm not saying those are bad. And if you use those, you're not a bad person. You're not doing anything wrong. You just misguided. You just don't understand magic at its essence. And that's fine. You know, people only know what they know. There are some things that somebody knows that I don't know. And that's okay. It doesn't make them wrong. It doesn't make them bad. It just is what it is, right? And my whole life, I've been, not my whole life, that's so dramatic. Like ever since 8th grade, though, I'm out of high school now. But ever since 8th grade, I would look up videos, people talking about it, and I would hear the same thing. Every single spell, if not every single spell, most spells, they would tell you, okay, so the first thing you need to do is get a pencil, write down your intentions, fold it up, and burn it. Tell me that is not what y'all been taught most of the time. Even now, I'm hearing advanced practitioners, spellcasters, supposedly say that and use it as fact. And I'm not just saying necessarily that. They also say you can't do this with magic. Magic isn't like the movies. You can't cast a spell to cause something to change. Isn't that what magic is? Can't you use magic to cause change? Isn't that what chaos is? If you can use magic to summon a demon, why can't you use it to fly? I need you to be real logical here. Or real subjective, depending how you want to look at it. I'm just saying, if y'all want to bring logic to magic, make it make sense. Like, bring some real genuine logic. I coined a new term, subjective logic. Let's bring some subjective logic to magic. Because y'all aren't doing it. And when I say y'all, I'm speaking to the cosmic collective. I'm not talking about you specifically. I'm talking about the collective, us as a family. If our ancient ancestors who used to be spellcasters, if they came back and looked at the state of magic, they'll be disappointed. And that's just the bottom line. They would. If they said, oh yeah, you need to get, just imagine you summon a deity, right? Like Merlin. Let's say you summon Merlin, right? And you doing magic with Merlin. And Merlin says, okay, I want you to cast a fire spell. You light a candle. You write it on a sigil. You write a sigil on a piece of paper. And you you burn it. And you burn that sigil. And you're like, well, there's a fire spell. Merlin would either, two options, look at you sideways and cockeyed it, or dip on your ass. I would too. I wouldn't even help people who do magic like that. If you are genuinely about magic, then I will show you magic. That's if I was a spirit guide or like a deity or whatever. Because, girl, no, man. What you're doing is what a 1-year-old would do. And that's not a bad thing. After a certain point, we have to mature. We have to grow up, you know? And I was so disconnected from magic for years because of that. Because I thought magic was boiled down to a piece of paper and a pencil and a candlestick. Imagine casting every single spell with some salt, a ring of salt, a candle, and a piece of paper. Really think about that. When did fire magic resort to you lighting a piece of paper on fire? That is not fire magic. That's pyrotechnics. That's not magic. That's pyrotechnics. You're a pyrotechnic. Call it what it is. It just hurts, you know. And going back, I wrote down Who Says by Selena Gomez because that came into my consciousness. Listen to that song, Who Says by Selena Gomez. I might add a snippet here depending because y'all know how YouTube be with music. Or I might just add the lyrics. But listen, take that and apply it to your magic. Who says you can't be 10 feet tall? Well, that's Hannah Montana. Well, that too. Superman by Hannah Montana. Or, I think that's what it's called. Let me look it up, actually. Who Says by Selena Gomez. Let me turn this off. This music is distracting me now. Montana. Hannah Montana. Is it called Superman? Or is it called Who Says? Period. Selena Gomez. Who Says? And Hannah Montana. Who Said? Let's look at the lyrics real quick. This is Hannah Montana. Who Said? I'm more than just your average girl. And remember, when I tell you, apply this to your magic, right? I'm more than just an average girl. I'd like to turn me up and show the world. Cause some can talk the talk, but this girl just wants to rock. I'm individual. I'm not like anyone. I can be glamorous, just like you see in all the magazines. I can be cool as ice or anything I want to be. Who said I can't be Superman? I say that I know I can. Who said I won't be the president? I say you ain't seen nothing yet. And here's the lyrics from Who Says by Selena Gomez. Ooh. My armpits are sweaty. I wouldn't want to be anybody else. You made me insecure, told me I wasn't good enough, but who are you to judge when you're a diamond in the rough? I'm sure you got some things you like to change about yourself, but when it comes to me, I wouldn't want to be anybody else. I'm no beauty queen. I'm just beautiful me. You've got every right to a beautiful life. Come on. Who says you're not perfect? Who says you're not worth it? Who says you're the only one that's hurting? Trust me, that's the price of beauty. Who says you're not pretty? Who says you're not beautiful? Who says? Right? And I know those, if you just look at it at face value, objectively, it makes really no sense. But look, like I told you, use subjective logic. Applying that to magic. Who says you can't be Superman? Who says you can't be 10 feet tall? Who says you can't fly? Who says you can't cast fireballs out your hand? Who says you can't teleport? Who says that you can't do any of that? Who said that your magic can't do magical and magnificent things? That's essentially what I'm getting at, y'all. Why do you still hold yourself back from magic? from the essence of magic. Imagine the Twitches from the Twitches movie. If they said magic is real, I'm not doing it. Imagine how powerful they would have became if they just shunned out their magic. They wouldn't be powerful at all. They would be basic sheep who follow simple programming. Don't get too complicated now because that's too much. But just follow basic simple programming. Is that what y'all really want to be with y'all magic? Or like the Sorcerer Supreme said, if the word spells offend your modern sensibilities, call it a program. If people, mystics over there in the East and in Africa, shamans, if you go to any one of these high priestess, and you ask them how to do magic, I promise you they're not going to tell you to get a piece of paper and a pencil, write on it, and burn it. And that's what magic is. That's what a spell is. People associate magic with a pencil and a piece of paper, and they say that's all magic is. Hell, look at the Barbie movie. That movie is literally inherently magic. The Barbie movie with Margot Robbie. Who says that she couldn't be real? Who says that she couldn't come to life? Who says that she couldn't be life-size? Who says that she couldn't create and do amazing magical things? She decided for herself, I don't want to be like anybody else. I want to be more than that. So I became more. And at the end of the movie, what did she do? She went and seen a gynecologist. She went and seen if she had the real pussy. If she can get pregnant, girl. Because had she stayed stuck in Barbie mode, she wouldn't have evolved. Am I wrong? If you stay stuck, how do you expect to grow? I mean, sorry, I'm reading my notes here because I wrote down, tell them to watch. Oh, never mind. I meant what I was putting was tell y'all to watch that movie, the Barbie movie. Yeah, I already said that earlier. Watch any witch movie. How does any witch or magic movie begin? With the person not believing in their magic. Hell, look at Glinda from Wicked. She's magical. She is inherently magical. But yes, she can't do magic. Look at Elphaba. She became powerful because she chose not to shun her magic. So do y'all want to be Glindas or Elphabas? Do y'all want to be Glinda? Just worry about the aesthetic, the prettiness. Yeah, it's fun. Ooh, glitter, glamour. But you're not connected. You're not in tune with yourself, your child, your inner magic, if that's what you want to call it as well. She can't even move a freaking coin. But yeah, she's magical. It's because she chose to be a sheep. She chose to be basic, to be boring, like everybody else. Which, if that's what you want to do that. I by no means am shaming anybody for doing that. I am talking inherently to the people who who genuinely want to do magic. I am Elphaba. Willingly, mind, body, and soul am choosing to be Elphaba. Glinda's cute. I love pink, my favorite color. But girl, if pink is more than just an aesthetic for me, I choose to do more with the color pink, okay? Just wear it. Or let it wear me. Hello? True magic is Elphaba. There's no way to put it, baby. Any magic show starts off as the main protagonist not believing in magic. The human. Because Elphaba is half human. That's why her magic is so powerful. I don't know if y'all know that. But any character that starts off in a witch show, magic show, whatever, is innately human, typically, who has innate magic, typically, But because they don't believe in it, they can't cast a simple spell. They can't even make a coin flip. But yet they come from a powerful lineage. It's because they've been told, and they've been told to restrain and restrict and diminish their magic. Not only have they been told to, they took what somebody told them they can't do, and they decided to take it personally and make it their fact, make it their reality, make it their truth. Had Elphaba stayed like Glinda, had Elphaba been a good little girl, or she stayed in the light and she just, listened and paid attention and been prim and proper and perfect, she would not even be able to do half the shit. Not even a fraction of the shit that she's doing in the movies. Think about it. You could be born with a lot of magic naturally and still not have access to it and still not be able to perform magic. Because the most powerful tool that you have at your arsenal to do anything in life is you. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I think that's good. I don't need to talk about it anymore. This video's getting too fucking long anyway. It's like 50 minutes, I think. But yeah, I really want y'all to just sit with that and think about that. And if you feel personal, and I want you to take that personal. Sorry. I want you to take what I'm saying personally. Take it to heart. Let it sit in your heart and let you reconcile that truth. Just sit on it. You can meditate on it, sit on it, shit on it. Girl, I get a lot of my intuitive downloads when I'm on the toilet anyway. And that's just it. It's what it is. They always catch me at that time. I don't know why. Ever since 8th grade. Well, actually, even before then. But anyways. Yeah. My little acolytes. I want y'all to be great, y'all. Like, I really want y'all. Like, I want to steer everybody in my little community in the right direction. Hell, the world, honestly. And I realized that the world is missing magic. There is no magic in the world. Not saying there isn't literal magic in the world. I'm saying there is no magic in the world. Magic, pure magic. What pure magic is pure imagination. So when I say there is no magic in the world, there is no imagination in the world. We have snuffed that bitch out and said, no, go away. But y'all have to understand, y'all wouldn't have anything in this world without imagination, without magic. Without people tapping into their imagination to build computers, to build planes, to build shit that makes things more convenient, you wouldn't have anything in creation. And that's just bottom line. So yeah, babies, my acolytes, my little starlights, my star seeds, my star children, my trailblazers. Come on. Y'all are the power. Y'all are the people. You are the human. Take that power back. Oh my god, now I sound like I'm starting a revolution. Please forgive me. I'm not No, fuck it. Yes, let's start a revolution. Fuck it. Let's start a revolution within ourselves. Let's be the chain breakers, the destiny destroyers, the chaos wielders. Let us be pure magic, baby. And stop snuffing your pure magic out with your basic, restrictive human ideologies. We have to start opening our minds up and start being the children. The S-U-N. Not the S-O-N. The S-U-N. Because that's what they were teaching back in the day. They were teaching us to be the S-U-N, the sons, not the S-O-N, the sons. When they say the Holy Trinity, when they say the masculine, the feminine, and the child, the Holy Child, they're talking about magic. When you fuse the masculine principle, the feminine principle, you get what? The child. The masculine principle is the number 1. The feminine principle is the number 2. You fuse that together to get what? The number 3. The child. The number 3 is magic. It fuses both principles. It's androgynous. It has no limits, no bounds. Even if it hasn't got to where it needs to yet, it understands that nothing can really stop me because we're all energy and we're all pure, divine emanations of pure imagination. And it's just, it is what it is. You can't change that. You can't run from that, no matter how much you try to hide from that. It is what it is. So yeah, I love y'all, and I want y'all to be great, and I want us all to be great, and I want us to all grow. And I hope y'all type in the comments. Let's just talk and have a discussion. Maybe one day I'll have a Discord. That'd be fun. But yeah. Anyways, I love y'all. I'll see y'all soon. I'm back on my shit again, back on my bullshit. So y'all gonna get more uploads. Y'all won't have to wait 2 weeks. I just was going through some shit. And also, I was trying to figure out how to upload my videos from this damn app. I'm using Clipchamp, not the best, but I'm starting from scratch, so it's whatever. Because for some reason, Clipchamp would not download my videos. After I will get done, and then my videos will be more than an hour, but for some reason it didn't work. So I had to do a workaround, figured that out. Come to find out, once I downloaded my videos again from Clipchamp, once I figured out the workaround, it downloads again. I hope that made sense. Once I figured out, okay, so I had to. Almond raw. Anyways, it doesn't matter. But yeah, like I said, life was playing with me essentially. So I had to figure it out. But yeah, I love y'all. My star beams, my star children, my magical acolytes, my beautiful unicorns, my magical star beams, my infinite infinite magical creations of pure divine imagical thoughts. Yeah, imagination and magic, imagical. Let's be magical. Y'all are my imaginators. Yeah, sorry, I had a whole STEM moment, but yeah, y'all are my imaginators. I love y'all. Bye.